tukarudi kwa nyumba tu kujua ako na shida. So the following day ndio tulirealize ako na shida. Kumrudisha ile hospitali tulimzaa, hawakutuchukua tena. Walisema tulikuwa discharge, so hawezi kutuchukua. Hakuwa na pale pa shimo ya kwenda choo. So tukatembea tukaenda Kenyatta tu kushughulikiwa, tukaenda Gatewoods. Tumbo ilikuwa imeanza kufura, akafanyiwa ile inaitwa colostomy. After hiyo tukakuwa discharge, tukakuja nyumbani, akaanza matibabu Kenyatta hapo akafunguliwa njia ya choo. So ule daktari alimfungua njia ya choo kwa ile harakati ya kufanya operation, akaweka catheter, na usiku tukilala akakanyaga catheter ikatoka. Alilia, mtoto alilia sana hiyo usiku kwa sababu alikuwa mkojo inafaa itoke na ikutoka. So akadungwa shindano ya kulala, tukalala. Kuamka nikapata kitanda ni wet, sikujua nini ilikuwa.
This is the condition that this 14-year-old has been going through.
Hiyo uchungu sana kwa sababu tuko tu hapo na pia tuko na watoto wengine. So mara mingi resources zetu mingi zinaenda kwa Charles. Lazima kuwe na hiyo diaper, kama hawezi ataka kwa nyumba free. Alafu pia nasikia uchungu juu ni mtoto bright sana. Ana aim at 400 and above. Na mara mingi uniambia, "Mom, nitaenda boarding kweli? Mom, nitaenda boarding kweli?" So na feel akipita hata labda ataenda boarding school. Kwa sababu ya diaper. Hawezi enda shule akivaa hiyo diaper. Juu hata kama kutembelea marafiki yani ni ngumu kwenda na yeye kama ako na hizo diaper.
The father, Wycliffe Kibira, a former military officer, says that the boy has had 5 surgeries for the past few years. They have even flown him to India to have further treatment, but that has not been able to alleviate him of his condition.
Being a parent, as most of the resources are going now towards more or less this boy, is a burden I have to shoulder as a parent for my love of my own blood. And to one time, I had to choose between my job and my son, as where I was working that time. Nobody could understand what I was going through, since it was something new in my family, to me, and we didn't know what to make out of it, and we were even in my marriage we were having those hiccups, questions were there.
When we visited their homestead in Uthiru, the environment just like the ones in the rural areas where there is a farm and a large compound that you will normally find kids running up and down, having the time of their lives in the company of their friends. However, for this 14-year-old, we found him cooped up in the house where he wore sweatpants and socks, signaling that he was not ready to get out of the house.
Now that if you tell somebody, if you tell your boss, we need to take this, I have a kid who is more or less has these few challenges that we need to sort out as we learn, because it was something we had to learn along. It was something none of us was prepared for. But eventually, see, there are certain jobs that they say they are mia kwa mia. So it's either you be there or you are not. So by the end of the day, I could not cope. I had to leave that job. Now focus to ensure that this boy came out of that. And it was that particular time when especially we were having those problems where we thought we were going for treatment, and then something else come up instead of us, the treatment being wound up and gets finished. Now we were opening another phase. And now it was hell. You have no money, you have no insurance, and whenever you go to the doctor, it's just review. We don't have, our schedule is full, and the boy keeps on growing up.
The parents maintain that at school, it has been a major challenge for him, where he has to change his diapers regularly with the fear that some of his peers could find out. The challenge of taking care of Philip has financially drained the family of 5. For Wycliffe Kibira, a former Kenya Defence Forces soldier, and his wife Grace Omondi, the challenge of taking care of Philip, the second born in the family, who has just finished Class 8, has been causing them sleepless nights for 14 years now.
Aneurysmal malformation is a condition where children are born without an anus. And it ranges in severity from what we call covered anus, where the anus is there, but it is covered with a membrane. That is the mildest form. In 2,000 live births, one child will be born with an aneurysmal malformation. And that's a fairly high incidence. So in a population of 50 million, you divide 50 million by 2,000, and you could see even in Kenya, we have thousands of patients with an aneurysmal malformation.
According to Dr. Hamdoun, children born with this condition need long-term care. They typically need help to manage their bowel movement. This may mean taking part in the week-long bowel management program. It is also very important to watch for problems with the urological system.
Expensive medication, and as I said, a poorly repaired aneurysmal malformation is really devastating to the individual. You become a pariah to the society. You're a person who's always smelling of stools. You become a social misfit. You cannot climb a matatu when you're smelling of stools and you're incontinent of stools. You can't interact with people. You can't go swimming in a swimming pool. You can't, even getting married. Who marries a person who just has stools all over? You become a social pariah. So it is devastating.
The family now says they require over 1 million to get their son back to India and have his treatment, and also to get a hormonal jab so that he can be like any other 14-year-old who will enjoy playing video games or watch sporting events with his friends.
So as it is currently, I can't say he has many friends because I have been studying him even at school. The few friends, he's come with 2-3 friends and he drops them along the way. Why? Somebody maybe at one time or the other as a friend, somebody sees you, maybe you want to relieve yourself and you have something like diaper. Then the next thing you hear it from another quarter, and it's a mixed school. So we saw it affecting his academics, and I'm more worried for him than myself, because with me I've lived my life. I'm now at 43. I've done what I could do, but I cannot regret anything. Resources are there, and you can only enjoy the resources if you have the peace of mind.
The young man, though faced by insurmountable odds, is hopeful that he will succeed and join a high school of his choice, which to him is Lenana High School. However, the parents fear that his condition could pose a challenge to his dreams.
The solution is surgery. There's no medication for aneurysmal malformation. Solution is surgery. And unfortunately, the cause is not really known. So you cannot say that we can prevent mothers from having children without aneurysmal malformation. It's not normally a hereditary problem. It occurs incidentally in individuals. And the cause is not really known. So once a child is born with aneurysmal malformation, the best treatment is to start early. We normally want the child either to be delivered at the center where we do these surgeries, or they go to the nearest where these surgeries can be done.